Hello everybody and welcome to the Sit Down with SIMONEEL. I am your host, SIMONEEL Czar, and today's episode is all about having faith. And I am going to share a personal story of my life with you, because girl, the only thing I had was faith, okay? And I swear on my soul, absolutely nothing in this video is fabricated. Nothing in this story is like, not even like 0.00001% is made up. These are all true fact, real events from my life, okay? Let's begin. Alright, so as you may know, I just barely moved to San Diego maybe like 6 months ago. And so I don't really know the city that well. I know that there's military bases on the city. I know there's water. I know there's beaches. I've been to all the beaches. I've been to like a lot of things, but still I have not explored the entire city of sunny San Diego all the way. Also, if you have any cool spots you think I should visit, let me know, because I'm totally open for ideas and recommendations. Okay, so anyways, it's been like 2 months since I moved to San Diego. I freaking love it. I'm living my best life, okay? Working at an amazing company. I just love my life, okay? Literally at this point. Just keep going. So, I got off of work. I was working, okay? So, it's a Friday night. I was working till 7, but I got off at 9. Once I got off, there's like an In-N-Out right by my work, and I was like, you know what, let me get some In-N-Out. I'm gonna go home, enjoy my meal, and just like have a nice chill night, okay? So I go to In-N-Out, I grab my food, I put it in the front seat, and I'm driving. And I'm driving, I'm almost home, but I'm like, you know what, I don't feel like going home just now. I kind of want to go on a drive. So I'm like, sure, I'll just go on a drive. And so I'm driving, and I see these pretty mountains with like beautiful lights on them. It's like full of lights. I'm like, wow, I wonder what that is. So I just keep going towards it. And you know, like my music is playing in the car, everything's good. I'm just like cruising in my Chrysler 300, okay, tinted black windows. It's a vibe. It's a vibe. I'm having a great old time, right? And then my internet or my data on my phone stops working. I'm like, that's weird. All right, whatever. But I'm driving. I see like things looking a little different, but I'm like, you know what? I've probably entered a military base, because that has happened before. Like because there's a lot of military bases in San Diego. I don't know if there's a lot. I've been to like 2 by accident, so whatever. So anyways, I'm driving, and I'm like, oop, I think I accidentally drove into a military base. So I'm driving, I feel like there's like, there's something on the road that's like, as I'm driving, it's like weighing my car or something. I don't know, it was weird. And then I see all these lights flashing, and I'm like, damn, I really got into a military base on accident. Like, damn. And I was like, whatever. I'm driving, and it just looks a little weird at this point. I'm like, why does it feel weird? Like, it just feels different. But I'm like, you know what, this is probably some part of San Diego I've never been to. Whatever. I just keep driving. And then I noticed that these drivers are freaking wildin' on the streets, okay? I'm like, why are they driving so rough? Like, why? I'm like, something's off. Something's different. This does not feel like it's a military base, because people are so crazy out here. Like, they're driving all weird. They're honking. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I see this cop, right? And I'm like, he's dressed a little different, but again, I'm like, military base, whatever, I don't know. So I drive over to him, and people are honking, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? So I drove over to this guy, and I'm like, excuse me, sir, what part of San Diego is this? And he looks at me with like the dead stare in my eye. He's like, Señora, Mexico. Bitch, what the fuck? Excuse me? A what? A what? What? Yeah, I drove over the border and I was in Mexico. This is all true facts. I kept driving, I kept driving, I kept driving. I ended up in Mexico. And I am freaking out at this point. I'm like, this is not San Diego. He was like, no, Mexico. I was like, how do I get back? What the heck? Dude, I am panicking. But at this time, I'm still like, what's going, like, I'm still like processing it. And while that is happening, like, he turns around. He's like, okay, un momento, por favor. I was like, okay. Hablar español porque poquito, okay? Anyways, so he goes like, oh, just stand here. Well, he said it in Spanish. He was like, yeah, just stand here. I'll be right back. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? At this point, I'm still trying to process, like, Mexico? What? Is this real? And then he turns around and I see his little visor thing. And it's the flag of Mexico. My soul went out of my body, did a somersault, and came back. And I was like, is this a freaking joke? How the did I end up in Mexico? Like, what? And then during this process, like, as I'm waiting, I'm like, wow, that's why people are wilding on the streets, girl, because you ain't in United States no more. Bro. Dude. Okay. So this girl comes out. She's a police officer also. And she's like, see? Like, a little attitude. I'm like, I'm speaking in English, okay? I'm like, I was just driving. I just went in and out, and I ended up in Mexico. Like, wait. Like, she's like, no, señora, no hablar español, or no hablar inglés. I'm like, you don't speak English? She's like, no. I'm like, oh my god. And then so she whips out her phone, and she Google translates. And then she's like, yeah, if you want to go back to San Diego, you have to follow like that sign. I have no Wi-Fi or no data on my phone. That's why my data went off, is because I was literally crossing the border, bro. I swear to God. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna sleep in my bed tonight. I'm gonna sleep in my freaking bed. There is no freaking way. So get this. All the signs are in Spanish. I don't know what the hell I was thinking when I saw alto, and I was like, why is it in Spanish? I'm like, whatever. San Diego's like so like influenced, like, you know, by Mexico. Like there's so many cultural things you see. I was like, maybe they're just trying to be vibey. I don't know. No, sis, you were in Mexico. That's why it said alto. Anyways, I'm freaking out. I look at the sign, and she's like, yeah, just follow that sign and you'll get to the border. And I'm like, oh my god, I'll get to the border. And at this point, I'm freaking out. I start driving, and then I get a text message from T-Mobile. Welcome to Mexico. Your data plan is now turned on. And at that point, I got so angry, because I was like, where was this freaking text when I was crossing the border? Like, now you are leaving the United States. Something to show me that I was not in Estados Unidos anymore, okay? And not only that, well, okay, I'll get to that part later. Anyway, so I'm driving. I see this little thing, and it's like, you just keep driving. And I put my directions to my house. My house is 2 hours. This house where I'm staying is 2 hours away from Mexico. I was like, wow. I was not aware of that. I was not aware how close I am to the border, living in North Park. And I just told you where I live. Well, anyways, so so as I'm driving, I'm crying, obviously. I'm freaking out. And I cannot call my mom and I cannot call my dad, because they are going to flip, okay? Like, imagine getting a call from your daughter like, oh yeah, I drove to Mexico by accident. Like, what the heck? And listen, I'm trying to be an adult, okay? Like, I've moved out. I'm not trying to, like, you know, go and ask for help, because I'm trying to show that I'm an adult. So I still have that ego, but I'm stuck in Mexico. So who do I call? 2 of my friends. And I know as I'm calling them, that they are not gonna pick up, because one's at work and the other's probably sleeping, honestly. But I still call them and they don't pick up, and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? So number 2 thing that I noticed is that I drive the most gangster car in the world. I'm from the Bay, okay? And if you know anything about the Bay, all the gangsters there drive Chrysler 300, okay? So what did I buy as my own first car to myself? Chrysler 300. Why? Because you got to stay to your roots, right? So I have this white Chrysler 300 with a black tinted windows, okay? You can't even see in. So the first thing I do when I figure out that I'm finally in Mexico is put my windows down, because I'm not trying to get in trouble for nothing, okay? I don't even have my passport. I have nothing. I just, I'm freaking out, but I keep driving. I do not stop, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get through this. I have faith. I start visualizing that I'm sleeping in my bed. Everything's fine, but I am scared. I don't know anyone in Mexico, but you know, at that time, to be honest with you, I could have probably called like 10 people from my phone that have relatives, if not their own mom and dad, that live in Mexico. I mean, I could have figured something out, but at that time, my only thing was that I need to go back home, okay? I need to go back home. So this song comes up by Karan Ahuja. So because like my now that my Wi-Fi or my data is working, and it's called Mexico, and I just lose my mind. I will post that song in the description box, okay? It's literally Aja Mexico Chaliye, which is like, let's go to Mexico. Like, that is the song that came up, and I was like, well played, universe, well played. But I do not need this sense of humor right now, okay? But it really made me mad. Anyways, okay, whatever. I'm driving. The stupid song comes up. I scream, I shout, I yell, but I'm like, fuck! I was like, oh my gosh, no, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get home. When both of those people don't pick up their phones, by the way, I'm like, you know what? This is not about anyone else helping me. This is about God teaching me to have faith in Him. Because there's nothing, I don't know anybody in Mexico. I don't have even the currency. I don't have even my passport. I have nothing. But I'm gonna sleep in my bed tonight. That was my faith. So just imagine this, right? A girl with already a car that gets a lot of attention for not the right reasons in Mexico, driving by the border. And if you know anything about areas by the border, they're rough. They're bad. They're ghetto. They're dangerous. They're not a place you want to hang out around in, okay? So call these 2 people, no answer. I'm like, okay, Allah, you are going to take me home tonight. I am going to sleep in this room in my comfortable bed tonight. There is there's nothing, just absolute faith. So I'm driving, and then I look at my gas, and I'm like, oh, thank God. We have a full gas tank, because if we didn't, boy, would I be freaking out. Okay, anyways, my house is 2 hours away from where I'm at, okay? And I get into this, so there's like this little border thing, and you're entering it, because I was so far away from the border too, by the ways, because I was just driving. Oh, this is different. This feels different. What part of San Diego? Yeah, it's Mexico, girl. It's Mexico. Tecate, Mexico. I was not even in Tijuana. Girl, I drove so far. Whew. Anyways, let's not even go there. So I'm driving back. Nobody picked up my phone. Can't call my mom and dad. Can't call my brother, because they're gonna, you know. And so I'm just having faith at this point. And I'm like, nope, I'm gonna manifest. I can manifest anything I want in my life. I can do this. So I get to the border, and then there's 2 lines. There's global entry, and then there's your regular line. And I get into global entry because it looks like it's moving, okay? It looks like it's going somewhere, and I'm like, that's where I need to be. As I'm in this line, First of all, it's long. It's a long, long, long line, but it's moving, so that gives me some hope. And I'm thinking at this point, like, okay, if I cannot get to San Diego tonight, what am I supposed to do? And while I'm in this line, something pops up in my head. I was like, you know what? I remember seeing a tarot reading on TikTok. Like, you know when you're scrolling? And I'm actually going to post that creator's account here as well. Because I remember I was scrolling through it, and he said, oh, you might take an unexpected trip by the end of the month. And it's going to be unexpected, and you're going to have a great time. And I'm thinking, like, wow, like every single time in my life, I have gotten tarot read for myself, or just like for me, you know, it's always like the most bizarre thing possible. Like, yes, an unexpected trip at the end of the month that I did not even know about. I was not aware of this trip that I was taking, and I went to Mexico without my acknowledgement. That's tarot for you. Anyways, so I get to the line, right? I mean, I get to the border, to like the front of the line, and they're asking take out your Century Pass. I'm like, what the fuck is a Century Pass? But whatever. So the first officer stops me. He's like, where's your Century Pass? I was like, I don't have one. He was like, why are you in this line? I was like, sir, I don't know how I got to Mexico. I was literally driving, I got my food, and now I'm in Mexico. And he was like, and I quote, what documentation do you have to get back to the United States? It's like, sir, I have my name tag. Because I really did. I just got out of work. I was like, I have my name tag, and I have my driver's license, and that is all I have. And he's like, well, why don't you go forward? Maybe you can explain it to the main officer right there, and then whatever he wants to do. And I'm like, okay. There's like 3 cars ahead of me. I'm praying, I am saying Aitul Kursi, I am saying anything and everything that I know. And I'm like, you know what? Just get me out of here. Like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I promise I will always Google map where I am going. Just get me out of here. So then the main officer comes in, right? And I'm driving. He's like, where's your pass? I was like, sir, I don't have it. Like, I literally was just, I got out of work, I got some in and out, and I was driving and following these pretty lights on the mountain, and now I'm in Mexico. And he's looking at me like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, well, do you have any documentation? I was like, no. He was like, do you have your license? I was like, yes, I do. So thank God I had my driver's license, because sometimes I be forgetting that stuff at home. So I whip it out and I give it to him, and he puts it in the system, and everything that I've ever done in my life comes up. He's like, oh, you're from Bakersfield. Oh, you did this. Oh, you lived here. Oh, I was like, dude, you found all that from my driver's license? What the? And he's like, oh, you actually have global entry. And I was like, poof. By the way, when I was going there, it said there was a $5,000 fine for people that were violating and going through global entry when they didn't have it. Dude, 6 years ago, my father made every single person in our house get global entry. Why? I don't know. That's just stuff that my dad does. He just tries to make things easier for everyone. And he thought getting global entry would be easier because we travel so much. And he was right. And I just forgot because I haven't traveled since before, like a year before COVID. So I forgot I had global entry. So he was like, oh yeah, you have global entry, but you don't have the Century Pass. And I was like, yeah. Oops. At that point, I'm like, dude, just let me go home, right? So anyways, he's searching the car. He's like, are there any drugs? Are there any weapons? Is there any alcohol? Is there any this? Is there any that? And he's like checking my car, front, back, opening up the trunk while like interrogating me, asking me all these questions. And I'm like, honestly, sir, I don't even know how I got here. Like, I was literally just minding my own business. This is not how I wanted to spend my Friday night. I literally had a face mask and a bubble bath that I wanted to do when I got home. I didn't tell him that, obviously, but like I was thinking that in my head at that point. I was like, how did I get here? He's checking my car. He starts with like where I am in the driver's seat, and then he goes all the way around, checks the back, comes to the front of the car, opens the, and he's kind of strict, right? He's asking all these questions like, what were you doing? Blah, blah, blah. You didn't see the light. You didn't see the sign that said last stop to Mexico. I was like, or United States. I was like, sir, if I freaking saw it, I would not be here, would I? So anyways, I did not have that much sass with him. I'll be honest. I was just like, God, please, I just want to go home. Dude, he opens my front seat and he sees the fresh In-N-Out. And he looks at the In-N-Out and he looks at my face. And then he looks at the In-N-Out and he looks at my face and he closes the door. He's like, get the out of here. I was like, oh my God, thank God. He's like, listen, next time he was like, you can only do this 2-3 times. The third time they're gonna give you a fine and they're gonna put you in jail. If you know their little like thing like blah 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 blah, don't ever do this again. And he was like, next time make sure you know where you're driving. And I was like, don't gotta ask me twice. And since that day I have not gone on a drive by myself. I can't. Anyways, I drove off, he let me go, and what saved my life was the In-N-Out, because shit, they don't even have In-N-Out everywhere in the United States. How are they gonna have it in Mexico? You know how? Because you got it from San Diego. That's right. Once I figured out, well, first of all, I kind of forgot that I had In-N-Out in the car. You know, once I figured out that I was in Mexico, yeah, that was gone. For 2.1 seconds, I really thought about it. Like, I'm already in Tijuana. Why not just get tacos? But then I was like, no, I don't even have currency. You know what I mean? Like, half a second I thought that. But yeah, what got me back home that night, and I did actually sleep in my bed, and I did finish that In-N-Out in my bed, just not at the time I thought I would, because I got off at work at like 9. I thought I'd be home by like 9:15, 9:45 with the In-N-Out. I was home at like 1:45 and I still ate my In-N-Out, but I came from all the way to Mexico. Isn't that crazy? I crossed the border without knowing, and I crossed it back with just my driver's license. 10 on 10. Do not recommend this to anyone, okay? Because it is very, very scary. Anyways, I got home. I ate my In-N-Out. I prayed. I gave sadhka. Sadhka, by the way, is when you like donate money, you know. So just like, thank God for helping me. And I slept in my bed that night comfortably. And what got me out of this situation was my faith in Allah, in the universe, in myself. I was just not taking no for an answer. In my mind, I was like, there is no way. There is no way I'm gonna spend a night in Mexico. I'm going home. And the only one who held my hand throughout the entire process was Allah. First of all, the car that I have attracts a lot of attention in that area in Mexico. It's a car that says something, and that's not the kind of attention I wanted. Plus, it was tinted. Plus, once I told this story to other people, they were like, SIMONEEL, you never asked the cops anything. You never ever asked the cops anything. They're so bad. I did not know. So it was like literally every single time I stopped and did something, I could have gotten in so much trouble. But God like held my hand through everything. The first time when I saw that guy, and then when he brought the other lady out with him, the first cop and then the second cop, and then when she told me where to go, and then I was driving and I didn't have my passport, because who carries their freaking passport with them, you know? And then thankfully I did have my driver's license that day with me, because sometimes I be forgetting it at home. And more than anything, or even when I called my 2 friends who didn't pick up, knowing that they wouldn't pick up, but still calling because I was panicking and I needed somebody to ground me. And then Allah was like, why do you need someone to ground me when I am here for you? And I was like, okay, fine. So I let go, and I had faith, and I just kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going, and I made it back to United States. I made it back to San Diego. I made it back to my room, and I still ate my In-N-Out. A day in my life. I don't know what to say. So if you are having trouble in your life right now, if you are struggling with anything in your life right now, just know that the universe has your back. Even when things go haywire, like when I was crossing the border and I had no Wi-Fi because literally I was coming into another country. Yeah. Just have faith in yourself, and have faith in the universe, have faith in Allah, or whoever you believe to be the highest, most supreme, and that's it. That's it. If I could get in and out of Mexico without my freaking passport, anything in life is possible. Anything in life is possible with a little bit of faith, and that's it. That's it. You don't even need anything else, because I was crying. I was freaking out. I was thinking of all the times. I was thinking all these different things in my head, like, oh my God, what if I get a flat tire? What if I get into an accident? Girl, I don't got insurance in Mexico. Are you kidding me? Or like, what if like I get detained because I have nothing to show my identity? Well, at that time I was thinking I didn't, but of course, driver's license. You know what I mean? So anything that you are struggling with in your life right now, just know that a little bit of faith is going to get you through all of it. All of it. And then one day you'll sit back and tell the story because you survived it all. You know? And you will say the same thing. All I needed was a little bit of faith and my driver's license, okay? With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, let me know your thoughts, let me know where I should go. And by the way, I did get the Century Pass now, because girl, I am playing these games no more. Okay, I already have the global entry. I paid my little fee. I was like, we need the Century Pass. So if there is a place in Tijuana that you recommend for tacos, let your girl know. All right, with that being said, I will talk to you later. Swoop.